Hey guys, welcome to the Model Citizen Podcast. We're your hosts, Hunter and Michaela. We are so excited to have you here. All right, let's dive in. Here's the thing about this. You're wearing that ironically. Okay.
I'm not.
I wear that for real.
I'm not. This isn't ironic at all. I mean this. This is in earnest.
Listen, here's the thing.
This is in earnest.
Your name is Ernest.
Ernest wears a hat.
Ernest wears a hat, dude. You are Erykah Badu. No, you are Pharrell. You are...
Thank you.
Are you wearing two under there?
No. I thought that this was like, the thing is my hair's really crazy right now. And I was like, I need to wear a hat. So I was like wearing all these hats. I was like trying on all my hats, seeing like which ones worked. And I felt like this one was the one.
That's the one.
Is it silly though? Does it look silly?
No, I like it.
I can take it off.
Take it off.
You're right. The hat thing is crazy. The hat thing's crazy. It's crazy.
The hat bit is crazy, but this I like.
I don't know what I was thinking with that hat.
I don't know. I think, okay, let's take the beret off and let's just see what the hair looks like.
Should we get serious?
Let's get serious.
Okay.
So you take that off, your hair is absolutely gone. Dude, truly the new Key and Peele.
That is literally what Variety magazine said about
us.
That's
what Variety said.
These two are the new Key and Peele.
Yes.
Also, look over at my icon. Look over at my icon on Riverside.
Look, you mean my icon?
Look at both of ours.
I can only see mine.
Oh, you can't see mine?
No.
Oh, dude, you're gonna like this one. I'm gonna take a little screenshotty waddy.
That is so funny. Dude, you're coming to us live from the set of Sandlot.
I mean, truly, I couldn't be more in shambles right now. Because I'm in shambles because I'm prepped. So I'm going to Colorado this week, you guys. And cold weather is great until you have to pack for it. And you are a plus size woman who is a 3X on her best day.
You get one coat.
I can fit 3 items in my bag.
Well, it's like it's like when people are like, here's the bra organizer. And they'll like give you like little like organizer things. I'm like, my bra has never been able to fit in a bra organizer.
A bra organizer for me is those industrial office, like the metal,
the ones that are in the
cabinets,
Manhattan Public Library.
Literally, like that's where I can store my bras. I have to hang my bras from the rafters like they're jerseys.
No, when I had Horderly come and do my closet, I was like, I'll just like use that drawer for like my bras and stuff. They were able to fit like 3 bras.
I mean, no,
the whole left side of my drawers is bras,
and they're probably used to like just, you know, a straight sized girly, and they're just like, you know what, we're just gonna like do like little. I'm like, no, nothing is small, not one thing, not my organizers, not my closets, not my drawers, not my clothes. Nothing is small.
No,
we are fitting giants,
and you have to bring probably like a coat. Well, also,
I have to bring a coat.
Are they sending stuff there?
They are.
So then you have to bring that stuff.
But the thing is, no, I don't. So that's the thing. I can bring a shipping label, which is what I'm going to do. And then they have boxes there. So they'll ship everything that they like give us or gift us or whatever. Because if you guys don't know, when you go on, I'm going on a brand trip. And essentially what they do, this particular company that I go with, I went with Stowe last year. You guys know.
Mm-hmm.
And I became an absolute Vermont stan.
Yes.
Okay.
You're going to be insufferable. This time.
Insufferable. Like my level of living went up 6 notches and it was already pretty impossible to attain. But this company is cool because they bring a lot of different brands in. So it's not just like one brand, you know, you'll see someone go on a trip with a brand. This is like a bunch of different brands and we shoot for all of their products. So it's cool. They gift us a lot of stuff. And last time I was like, damn, I actually had to leave stuff because I just couldn't fit it all in my suitcase. Now, upon talking to a bunch of the other girls who are going, they're all bringing 2 suitcases. I'm the only Yahoo that is bringing one suitcase, and then I'm wondering why they all have so much shit to choose from when they
Yeah,
are
but you
shooting,
know
and I have
what?
my one bag. But I don't like being a pack mule.
Then you
You
have to
know I hate
lug around
this.
2 suitcases. That's the
I
thing.
don't have there's no men coming on this trip. So I don't have anyone that I could, because I'm the first person to look for a man to haul something.
Right. Oh, I know that for
I'm
sure.
I'm an independent woman until I have to move my
My
suitcase, and
husband
then
and I
all of
know
a
that
sudden
for sure.
I am a damsel in
Yes.
distress.
Yes.
I'm
Um,
not doing it.
I know that for sure also. Um,
You know that for damn
I just
sure.
like 2
And I love your husband
suitcases.
for always being such a good sport about it.
He's such
Because I
yeah.
know he doesn't even bring any of your
No,
stuff in, but
dude,
he'll bring my stuff in.
never.
He's
Here's
a
the thing.
gentleman.
Yes, the only time my husband touches a suitcase is when you're here.
Mhm.
And
Yeah,
mom.
and mom.
Even sometimes mom's like, "I got it," and then she'll, like, do it on her own, and I'm like, "Mom, please." Also
You know
because
what?
I'm so like, "I'll just fucking do it. Don't worry about it." Dude,
You are like that, which
I
is great.
literally,
I think
like,
it's we need all
basically
it takes all types.
renoed my own bathroom by myself. So, yes, I
A
think that
single mom who works 2 jobs. Here's my plan that
literally.
I kind of am thinking I might do. I might bring 2 suitcases, one really big one, and then my, like, one step down one, and then pack it all full, send shit back, and then put my medium one in my big one for when I come to yours. And then I can just put anything I need from your house into my suitcase with the smaller one in it, and then
Right.
send everything back. Like, even just clothing that I'm not gonna be needing. Does that make sense? Because 'Cause I'm
Yeah.
already getting a box to send
Is
shit
it
in?
already, like, a prepaid label? Because that would be really expensive otherwise.
Maybe.
Because it's gonna be expensive
Do
because
you
it's
think
gonna
it's gonna be more expensive
the more it
than
weighs.
to just pay for an extra bag? Because if you think about it, I'm taking 3 flights. So I'm gonna have to pay for a bag for every single one of those flights, 35 bucks, that's 70 bucks a flight. So that's $210 if my math is correct.
Yeah,
Just for
I would
bags. Do
just
you know what I
send
mean? And it's like, yes, you get paid for these trips, but when you're doing stuff like this, that's what eats away at your paycheck. So you're looking at taxes, they're taking it
why don't
away. You're
you
looking at this is how I think about it. I think about the stuff I bought for the trip,
okay,
right?
here's my
So
thing.
take that out of the pay. And then what? Do I just break even?
Pretty much, yeah. That's this world we're living in here. But here's my
It
thing.
is. We're all just
I think
breaking
that you
even.
should bring one large suitcase and then
Yeah.
bring a carry-on. I know you don't like carry-ons,
I don't do
but you don't have
carry-ons.
to pay for the carry-on. You bring the carry-on in a little backpack or
I
something.
think I do because I think I just got an economy seat. And they don't do
Economy does
carry-ons.
carry-ons unless it's basic fare.
It's United, and I think it might be basic. Unless I did. I can't remember. You know me, dude. I'm not gonna pay for business. I'm either gonna pay first class or I'm not paying any. I'm gonna pay dirt cheap. I
Also,
can't do the mid. I can't
hot tip,
justify the mid.
hot tip.
Yeah. Yeah.
Business is cheaper than first class, but business and first class are the same.
Mm. But not on every flight.
Pretty much. You know
And
that
not with that. Who do you fly with more?
um it's kind of a toss up between Delta and United.
Yeah. Because I fly with everybody. Literally everybody's gotten a piece of this.
Yeah.
I am the town slut when it comes to airlines.
Here's the thing, you're gonna have to take then if you're not gonna take a carry-on, you're gonna have to take a big ass backpack and stuff it.
I don't wanna do that.
Stuff
I don't wanna do
it.
that. I know,
It'll
I know.
save you like $200.
I know. I just would honestly, I'd rather spend the money than be a pack mule. I hate it. Because I sweat. I'm just, like, sweating. I don't like to be, like, that sweaty person. I
Yeah, I
am gonna wear
know.
my biggest coat. This is so
You're gonna
interesting, I'm sure, for the people.
wait,
Here's the thing.
you're
What?
gonna wear your biggest coat on the plane?
Yeah, I have to.
The
It's not gonna fit.
math is not mathing. You're like, "I don't wanna
It's
be a
not heavy.
pack mule," but you're
It's
wearing
not
a
heavy.
coat.
No, but it's not heavy. It's just voluminous. Does
Is it
that
like
make
one of
sense?
those
There's
packable
volume.
ones?
It's not. It's like that kind of like, it's like I think I showed you the pictures of everything that I'm bringing
Yeah.
from Newly. It's like the bigger one that's like I don't know, I can't
Okay,
explain it. If you don't
yeah.
remember it, then you don't remember. But yeah, it's just voluminous is all
Right,
it is. It's not heavy.
right.
It just is like has lots of volume,
Got it.
if that makes any
Okay.
sense to
Yeah, no,
anybody.
this doesn't
Yeah.
make any sense to anybody listening, I
Okay.
can guarantee you that. But it is I'll tell you one thing. If it's
Mhm.
cold here, it's freezing in Colorado. Like, we have woken up and
Yeah.
it has been, like, 36 in the mornings, like,
Yep.
very, very cold. So, like, if you think you
I
brought
know.
warm stuff, bring warmer stuff.
I have kept my eyeballs on that weather for that very reason. Here's the thing though. I know I'm gonna be sweating no matter
That's
what,
true.
and here's also the thing. I know it's gonna be a house full of skinny girls, and so you know that heat's gonna be blasting.
Yeah. God, I
So
know.
it's gonna be so cold outside, and because of that, it's gonna be so warm inside.
I
And
know.
so much content that we do is inside. And it's just gonna be lights, and it's gonna be cameras, and it's gonna be
Hopefully,
action.
you can have a window open or something. You're gonna have to pack your
I'm bringing a
fans.
fan, and hopefully there'll be a window. Yes,
Oh, for God's
absolutely.
sake.
Okay, so we need to talk about, Halloween or not Halloween decorations, Halloween costumes.
Yeah.
So you're all doing Marvel, and I just genuinely think it would be so funny if I was a Christmas tree.
I love that.
Yeah,
I
I know you
love that.
support it blindly.
And the thing is that I was actually thinking about this because Martin's ugly Christmas sweater from last year could almost be
Mhm.
repurposed as a Christmas tree costume for this
Right.
year. And that might get us actually a fighting chance at winning this year's costume contest.
Yes, yes. I don't like that we didn't win the last year that we went, and do you remember who we lost to? The family that we lost
Wasn't it
to?
the trophy family who was like spray painted like trophies and stood super still?
Yeah, and I think that that's kind of a cop out. Like, I can also stand really still. I feel like that does not a costume
Yeah.
make.
However,
We
Ava's
had a
thwarting
dedication to
our
ours.
Marvel.
I
She's a
know. We're all
strawberry.
trying to be we were all gonna be Marvel characters, and of course, Ava's like, "I want to be, a teddy bear with a
Yeah.
crown."
Well,
And we're like,
also
"That's not a Marvel
but
character."
also the thing is this, Marvel has no good girl characters. So, like, there's
They
Captain
don't.
Marvel, and then there's, like, the Witch, and then Black Widow, and that's about it.
No, there's no good characters.
Right.
Like, there's no like, there are characters, but, like, their costuming is
So
not
ugly.
great. Yeah, it's
Like,
ugly,
Wonder Woman is
whereas
cute.
Wonder Woman is it. Okay, for DC, there's Wonder Woman,
Yeah,
Catwoman,
yeah.
Batgirl, Poison Ivy. I mean, legends, okay?
Legends. Marvel's missing.
Legends. Yeah, and so I just am like, "Why are we doing Marvel?" And it's all because I know Hudson wanted to be
I know,
Iron
but
Man.
then now that he got the Iron Man costume, he's telling everybody around him that he's gonna be an astronaut, and we're like,
Here's the thing, why do you get the costume and give it to him not the day before Halloween? Like,
because
why are
mainly because
we
I love my kids. And the
Oh, got
whole
it,
fun,
okay.
he's worn that
I didn't know that was
costume
part of it.
every single day since we've gotten it. I
Mm,
had to peel it off of his body before nap time.
right.
He wears it every single
But
day.
then they'll, like, get sick of it, and then they wanna be a different one.
No, I just think he also has it in his head that, like, Halloween is he's like, "I'm gonna be an astronaut or a witch," or he thinks that, like, Halloween is supposed to be, like, scary, a scary costume,
Right,
you know?
right.
But he loves his
And
costume.
that you won't let him be.
I said he could be a
Nothing scary.
wizard. He didn't like the wizard costume. We went to Spirit Halloween, actually. We should talk about this. We went to Spirit Halloween, and when I tell you, dude, we took him, what was it last weekend? We took Ava and Hudson, and my son loves scary stuff. Even though he's so
He
frightened of it,
does.
he put on like
Yeah.
the Jason mask. He put on like the
Mm.
Mike Myers mask, like a bloody pig. He was staring at all the things. And I literally had to leave. And I told Brian, I said, I'll meet you in the car with Ava because my spirit was just so irked by the entire thing. No, here's the thing.
The devil couldn't reach you,
No,
so he sent Spirit Halloween to
here's
you.
the thing. I'm telling you, dude, the way, and I have been in cahoots with people in my DMs about this. When we grew up, Halloween was like, ooh, spooky.
Yeah.
Now Halloween is like
Mm,
literally we have one person in our neighborhood that always does it up to that like next level, like the kind of level where it's like, are they filming a movie there? What's going
right,
on?
right.
Because they have like 8 foot, like figures wearing those like beaks from like you know
Yes.
what I mean? And scary
Yes.
that are absolutely so realistic and so scary.
Yeah.
And Spirit
Right.
Halloween had all these things in it and I was like, dude, Halloween really got scary. Like before it was just like
Mhm.
cutesy, like everyone kind of dressed up. You're like
Yeah, it was
trick or
like you're
treat.
you're wearing a bed sheet, and
Yeah.
I'm a
Now there's
ghost.
like
Yeah.
zombie babies on our block and Hudson's like, "What's that?" And Ava's like, you know what I mean? And I'm like, "Okay, this is crazy." Like we've
I
gotten
saw a Halloween decoration that is like this 9-foot tall two-headed monster that is eating a child that is in an ice cream cone. And it's one of those animatronics,
dude,
and the kid is, like, screaming,
that's
and
terrifying.
it is
And then we're like,
so
"I
terrifying.
wonder
Also,
why
imagine
there's"
being that neighbor.
yeah, and also it's like, "I wonder why there's so much like psychological stuff going on in our like generation." Well,
I know. And it's, you know what it is? It's because we just became so, like, numb to what we thought was
desensitized.
scary and desensitized, and then we just made it scarier and scarier and scarier, and then we're all wondering why we're all running around, like, absolutely on all kinds of
No,
medication
literally.
because 'cause we're all so freaked
I'll
out.
never
No,
forget
yeah.
the scariest movie I ever saw when I was younger. What do you remember what it is?
The scariest movie you ever saw was probably Thumbelina.
Oh, I tell Hudson the Thumbelina story every night. I used to love
Aw.
Thumbelina. No, Vanilla Sky. That at the time was the most terrifying
When
movie
did
to me.
you watch Vanilla
Hold
Sky?
on to your hat because guess when? And guess with who? With our father. And I was about
'Cause he got a screener of it.
11
He
years
got a s
old. Yes.
No, you were not 11 years old. You were not.
How old do you
You were
think I was?
younger than that.
Probably where
You were way
whenever we were
younger
at the
than that.
property.
You were, like, 9.
9. 9.
You watched Vanilla Sky at 9 years old?
Mhm.
That's
And
wild.
ever since then,
I don't blame you.
I was like, "This is the most terrifying thing in the world." Dude, yeah, because remember when dad used to get those screeners? So for those of you guys who don't know, when you're part of the academy, which
Mm.
is the people who basically decide who wins the Academy Awards, right? They
Yeah.
send you movies sometimes before they're even out in theaters, most of the time before they're even out.
Yeah, for your
Yes, and
consideration.
you were able to watch them from home. So our dad was part of it when we were younger. So we would get movies like sent to us before they even hit theaters, whatever. Vanilla Sky was one of them. I Am Sam was another one that like,
That's
dude,
so funny.
those two movies like shaped my brain for life.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's said 2
crazy.
very random movies to have shaped your
And
brain.
heavy movies.
Good movies,
I
very
Am
good
Sam's,
movies,
I think,
but
one of the greatest movies of all
very
time. Yeah, but
yeah,
whoa. But yeah,
yeah.
dude, Vanilla Sky, I don't know
Wow.
if it's because it's my 9-year-old brain remembering that, and I wonder if I would feel the same
Probably.
way now watching it. But, did I tell you that
Just
did I
scary.
tell you and you I don't even wanna tell you this because I
Okay.
know you're gonna be like, "Hunter, but you know that nothing's gonna get into your house." Okay,
Oh, here we go. What is it?
but you can't come at me for this.
I can't guarantee I
Okay.
won't.
So Sadie had a birthday party with a bunch of her
Uh-huh.
girlfriends.
Okay.
Um,
What did her
and
friend bring?
no, for
A
those of you
Ouija
who
board?
don't God, I would send that friend home. For those of you who don't know, that's my stepdaughter. So we had a bunch of her girlfriends over, and I can't remember if I told you this. So she was like, "Hey, can you send me the code? We want to watch a movie down here." And we were like, "Sure."
Mhm.
And then I got a email in my inbox that was like, "Just purchase." What was the name of the movie? Let me see if I can find it. It was Michaela.
What?
The most We looked at the description. Okay, here was the movie.
Oh,
It is called The Black Phone. Have you heard of
okay.
this?
I don't think
Let me read you
so.
this. Let me read you this description and you tell
Okay.
me you tell me what I did next. Okay. The Black Phone is about a Finney Shaw, who's a shy but clever 13-year-old boy who's being held in a soundproof basement by a sadistic masked killer. When a disconnected phone on the wall starts to ring, he soon discovers that he can hear voices of the murder's previous victims. They're dead set on making sure that what happened to them doesn't happen to Finney.
Oh, sounds cool.
Now when I tell you this, I called them right up and I said, "You're not watching that in my house."
Yeah, as you should.
I
Here's
literally
the
hate
thing,
being that
that's
mom.
too but Hunter, they're children.
They're
Those are
children,
children.
right? Okay, so
Yes,
I'm
like,
not wrong for
like,
this?
they're not no, not at all, not at all. Here's the thing, I believe that parents should control what their kids watch, end of story. Until they're 18 and out of the house,
Okay, I
you
feel
decide
better
what happens. No,
because,
absolutely. I
dude,
would never
and
let if I didn't feel comfortable having my child watch anything, they're not watching it in my
yeah.
home.
I and, like, Brian and I were talking, he was like, "It's a movie," and I was like, "No," and also, like, 2 of the girls down there were a little bit younger than her, and I was like, "I know for a fact
Oh,
that their parents would not appreciate this." And so I
no.
really and she, like, came back, she was like, "It's fine, we all wanna watch it, it's totally normal, whatever," and I was like, "Absolutely not.
No.
Absolutely not." So we made sure we were like,
Mm-mm.
"You are not watching that. If I even see there's any runtime on that, it's,
Yeah.
like, done." Um,
Good for you.
I just,
I
like I you know
I think you
why?
misunderstand. I think you misunderstand where I come from. I really truly do believe that parents should be responsible for what their kids watch, and it's up to you to decide where that line is. If your line is I don't care if my kid watches scary movies, cool. That's your decision
Right.
as a parent.
I'm just like,
But if you don't feel comfortable with your kid watching something, for God's sakes, don't let them
yeah, and I'm
because
like,
they
"This
need
is
protection in the
too
world.
much scary stuff for your mind." And I was like, "You couldn't do that on your
Too
own,
young.
whatever, but under my roof, it's too much, like, muck in your mind, like, you're only 14."
Yeah.
Like, like, the poster looked scary, and I was like, "I don't even want that playing in my house. I don't want you
It's the
girls."
one with, like, the smile, right? The guy's, like, got a mask and a smile or
No, it's like
something,
he's like,
right?
he looks it's almost like Donnie Darko vibes, like, looks like that
Got
kind
it, yeah.
of.
I remember seeing the
Ethan
posters
Hawke
for
is
that,
in
and that
it.
looks absolutely fucking
Terrifying.
terrifying. Yeah.
And I was like and she knows this, and I told her, I said, "Scary movies
Yeah,
are
she
not allowed
does.
in my house."
Yeah.
Um,
I think she was trying to, like,
totally, because it was her
get away
birthday,
with
and I get
something
it.
because she had a kid. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Like, I'm on we're on to her, we've all
Yeah.
been there. If you're gonna watch a movie like that, you're gonna have to go sneak over to your friends.
Yeah.
It's gonna have to be your squirreliest friend who
Yeah.
doesn't have any parental
Yeah.
supervision, and then you can be held responsible in your brain for your decisions
Yeah.
to watch a movie like that. But in my home, I'm
Exactly.
not gonna be able to sleep well knowing that I allowed that. No, I
Totally.
totally get
And I
it.
think that this also stems from, like, we had a friend growing up who we would go over, and I also, I think in this moment, tapped into my younger self because one of the girls
Mhm.
who was here is so, like, pure and sweet and, like, just
Mhm.
I can guarantee you with almost 100% conviction, she's not into scary movies. So I tapped
Yeah.
into me, who was that girl, who was like, oh God, I guess I have to watch these movies at my friend's house who would always want to watch these movies. And her parents didn't give a shit. And I would have
Yeah.
nightmares for weeks. And I would be so scared watching them. But I was like peer pressured to be like, I guess I have to do this because everyone else wants to. I'm not going to be like the one. So I think it was
Yeah.
also like connecting with that version of me and being like, you know what? So and so is a lot like how I was when I was younger. And so I'm putting the kibosh on it as a mom in the house.
Right.
Um, and they ended up watching like Confessions of a Teenage Drama Queen or whatever. Like that's what you should be watching, you know?
That's what you are allowed to watch. That's what you're allowed to watch in my home. These
Yeah.
are your choices. Enjoy.
Yeah. Like we're
And
not like
it's
this.
not like I'm making you watch Veggie Tales or
Right.
anything. I mean, I'm keeping it age appropriate for
Like y'all got the
everybody.
candy y'all want. We like went shopping. We got
Mhm.
Chick-fil-A. We did all the things. This is like the one
Yeah.
thing. The
No,
scariest.
I'm so pro you especially if it's a kid. I'm like,
Yeah.
mm, you're the mom or you're the dad or whatever, you're gonna make the decisions about what's going on in your home.
Completely.
And as someone who had lots of friends whose parents did not give two shits what they did and had no supervision, I can believe the stuff my friends were getting away
Dude,
with. Like, I mean, I saw Showgirls when I was like
I
10,
was just gonna
9 or
say,
10.
you know whose friend I'm talking about. They
Yeah.
used to have a movie theater in their house, and we
Mhm.
watched Virgin Suicide at I think I was, like,
Unbelievable.
12 years old. Yeah,
Mm-mm.
and I was just like,
Mm-mm.
"Okay." They we I
As someone
first
who
time I
watched
watched
The
Donnie Darko
Ring,
was with them too, like, it was just very scary.
none of that should have happened, and I remember the first time I watched The Ring was dad took me to go see The
Which
Ring
is
with him, and that bro, that movie
wild.
still haunts me to this day.
I
It still
know, it
haunts me to
haunts
this
me because it
day.
haunted you so bad.
I know. Well, and also though, like, I got over it for sure, and I remember once I had a Halloween party when I was in high school at our house, and I had it playing in the background, and I was like, "I'm fine now, I can." And then I remember, like, I didn't look at the TV screen the whole time it was
Of
playing. I was like, "Yeah, I'm
course.
so cool," and then I was like I
Yeah,
would not
because
look at the TV screen.
dude, remember you literally would sleep with mom and dad for, like, after that.
It was the scariest movie I'd ever
I mean,
seen.
it is a very scary movie. Here's the thing.
It is very
I
scary.
and you know me, I rebuke all that in the name of Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
So,
My
um
only thing with all of the stuff is and, like, when we have these conversations is, like, I do push back a little when you're when you said that you're not gonna bring pre-owned things in the house. That's where I'm like,
but I do have a lot
"Okay,
of
but"
pre-owned stuff.
yeah, and then it's almost like I don't know, there's just something like consumerism about that where I'm like, is that just consumerism taking over where it's like subconsciously you just need to have new things because there's like some kind of
Probably.
do you know what I mean? I'm like,
But also, I
whatever.
went
We
on
have so much
my
religious trauma, so I equate
yes.
everything to the religious trauma.
Yes,
I'm like,
completely.
this is the church's fault.
Completely.
Okay? Church and IKEA are in cahoots to make us think we need brand new things all the time.
Us in particular. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, it was very, very interesting, and it was very interesting to then be that parent that was, like, pushing back and, like, not taking no for an answer, and I was like I told Brian, I said,
Good.
"You need to go down there right now and make sure it's not on the TV." Like,
Yeah,
"We're not playing
absolutely.
games here. Not
Mm-mm,
here,
mm-mm,
not on my
mm.
watch. You're not
No.
here's the thing about me. I will be the parent where you can send your kids to my house and
Yeah.
trust that they're not getting
Yep.
into anything fishy and
That
they're
part.
taken care of and they're fed. They get to
Mhm.
bed at a reasonable time. Like, I am not going to be that house because I did not feel safe at that house growing up at all.
That's the thing is that kids don't actually feel safe. I never felt safe at my friend's parents' house. I never really
No.
felt safe there. I was like, "I'm on my own
Dude,
here. I'm fighting for my life over here."
I used to go
Like
down in the middle of the night at the friend who I'm talking about's house and lock their doors because they never would lock. How is that
that
much
is
is that me?
the most you thing of
I
all
know. I
time.
used to go down and be like, "I'm gonna go get some water." Lock their doors because they never would lock them ever, and I was like, "What the fuck am I doing this?" I'm like
Yeah,
11.
right. No, that's absolutely unhinged, and the lack of responsibility is
Unhinged.
crazy. And you know what? If we can just talk on lack of responsibility, and since we were already talking about flights, can I just say I follow a girl who is kind of TikTok infamous for always traveling.
Mhm.
She's a nepo baby and she's always traveling. She actually said something so funny about the Victoria's Secret fashion show. She's like, I've seen better costumes at the Eras tour. She's like, I saw better outfits at the Eras tour than I
People
did at
are
this whole Victoria's Secret.
they're, like, really lighting up the costumes. I actually didn't think that they were that bad, but, like, I guess
I didn't think they were
I
that
think
bad.
when you
I think it
put
was
them
just,
from previous years,
yeah,
like, next to them.
for sure. Yeah. And we definitely discussed it already on the Patreon. But anyway, she's the same person that she's always late for her flights. And she's always almost missing flights slash missing them.
How?
I have such a pet peeve about people who are constantly missing or being like almost and this is coming from someone who like I don't get to the airport like 3 hours early. I think I get there at like a perfect time. I like to get to the airport at like an hour and a half
Right.
before
Yes.
either boarding, takeoff, give or take 20 minutes. Like I feel like that's a good amount of time where you're not sitting in the terminal for 3 hours,
Right.
but you're also not keeping doors open.
Right.
And this girl, she always flies first class and she's always late and she's always rushing and then she's always missing her flight and then she's like missed my flight to
Oh my
Amsterdam,
god.
like come with me to spend 6 hours, in like Charles de Gaulle airport.
Tell me
And
you
I'm just
have
like,
disposable
how?
income without telling me you have disposable like, here's the thing, most people
Literally, who
can't
has the
afford to
funds?
miss a flight. Like, that's it.
I
Like,
can't.
you're now being upcharged to be booked on another
Yep.
flight. Like,
Yep.
you know what I mean? It's like I think the only flight I have ever almost
Mhm.
missed because I was in major traffic and I had left hours before was my
Which is understandable.
right, in LA especially, was, the very first job I ever booked was for Miami Swim
I
Week,
remember that.
and
I
I
remember
remember
that.
the doors closed, and I
Mhm.
begged her. I said, "Please, this is like my first job." And she was like, "Regulations, I cannot open the door." And I cried and begged, and she opened the door, dude. And I was like, "Oh my god." That was the only time I came close to missing a flight, unless it was like a layover that like couldn't connect or whatever. But
I would say she's a queen for that, but she shouldn't have made you cry and beg. If
yeah.
if a woman comes to me and she's late and I'm a flight attendant, I'm opening the door.
Also, it's like she's like, "Regulations say," but then she opened the door. I'm like, "Okay, so
So, like, not really, but we all know about that with flight attendants. There's regulations, but I've never like, I've had so many situations where flight attendants have just been like, "It's fine."
yeah."
Or like, "Yeah, just sit here," you know?
Also,
And then there's some that are just like, "No," and I'm like,
isn't it amazing how much trust we put in flight attendants? Like, if the
"I don't
plane
know."
feels like shaky or anything, you like look at the flight attendant to be like, "Are
Always,
they worried? Or are they okay?"
always. And I gotta say, they always have it together. They
Always.
always are like, "It's fine."
They're just literally smiling, talking to each other as the plane is just literally
Yeah.
ricocheting around. You're like, "Okay, I guess it's fine."
I'm like
Yeah.
this, and these 2 are just literally
They're like
chatting about what they were doing
laughing.
last
Yes,
night. Yeah.
completely.
And meanwhile, the plane's on fire and it's just plummeting,
Did I
you
tell
know?
you, dude? I didn't even think I told you. When you know how you always go into the bathroom at during flights and it
Mhm.
says like no smoking in the lavatory, of course, duh, right? Who would do
Mhm.
that? Why they even
Yeah.
still have these on, right? Well,
Sure.
when we came home from Los Angeles, there
Mhm.
was a man who tried smoking a cigarette in the bathroom. I don't even think I told you. He literally was lighting up and smoking a cigarette in the bathroom. Like,
What?
I was like, every time I go in there, I'm like, "Who are these signs for? Like, who's doing these
Right.
still? Like, this isn't
I've
even."
always every time I see them, I'm like,
It's
"Whom
like
is still doing
it's
this?"
like the same way how you always see signs that are like, "Please dispose of tampons and pads in the trash," right? I used
Right.
to always think, "Who the hell is throwing them
Well,
down
those
the
are for
toilet?"
Katie
Those
Sturino.
are for Katie
Yeah.
Sturino, where she
Those are for
said,
Katie
"What do you
Sturino.
mean? I always throw them down the toilet." And I said, "Katie, this
Mhm.
isn't are you joking me?" So,
Right.
dude, wild. I was like, "Whoa, there's
That's
still
crazy.
people
And
out
not even
there?"
like a like he was smoking a
A
cigarette?
cigarette, and then
Or he wasn't even vaping?
no, a cigarette, and then the entire plane, just from, like,
Ugh.
one puff, reeked of
Mm-mm.
it.
Mm-mm. Mm,
Just
mm. That's
crazy.
absolutely crazy, dude.
Also, this is
I
very
didn't think that
random,
would be a thing.
but
Yeah, I like random.
Hudson had a police officer come and, visit his school because one of the parents,
Mhm.
parent dad is a police officer, and he, like, showed him the car, and, like, he got to, like, speak in the speaker, and
Cute.
I this is, like,
Yeah,
Hudson's dream day.
right.
So,
Did he do it what Hudson and I are always practicing together?
what?
Did he tell the guy? "A cab?" Was he like, "A cab?"
Imagine.
Just kidding. Just kidding, you guys.
Um,
It's a joke.
but so they gave him this pamphlet, right? That goes through like,
Right.
here's how to call 911. You know, you never touch matches, you never open the door
Mhm.
for anyone. And then they have like this guy who like looks like a thief, and it says like don't talk to
Okay.
strangers, right? And so
Okay.
I have been for the last 2 days trying to describe what a stranger is to Hudson for him to wrap his head
Oh,
around the fact that strangers are not always bad people, but they
right.
sometimes can be. And he'll be like, "Show me a stranger on your phone." And I'm like, "Well, let's just look outside. Like that guy running is a
Oh, that's
stranger."
so cute. Show me a stranger on your phone.
Yeah, like
So innocent, like, doesn't know
so
what it
doesn't
is.
know. So I've been literally, and I'm like,
He
how?
always wants to see things on the phone. Like,
Yeah.
every like, there's so many things I'll talk about, and he's like, "Can you show me on the phone?" Like, remember when we were showing him the presidents? When we were showing him,
Yes.
Harris and Trump, and we were
Yes.
just
And
showing
then
him
he
what they
goes
look
and then
like.
he goes, "Show me that guy that's like,
Yeah,
open
because
screaming,
one of the pictures of Trump was obviously him being like or,
screaming."
like,
Yeah.
doing a silly face, and so Hudson kept being like, "Show me the guy with the crazy face
Yeah.
again," and it was just so funny, like, the things that they think and, like, he's smart to ask for photos too.
Totally, like, he wants to
Like,
connect with
photographic
it.
memory
But
king.
also, it's like, how do you describe a stranger? Because 'Cause I'm like,
I
it's
know, that
someone
is
that we don't
true.
know, and then I'm like, "You don't talk to strangers," and then he's like, "So if that person says hi to me, I don't talk to." It's like, there's gotta be some kind
Yeah.
of easier way to break this down, because I was like, "Yeah,
Yeah.
that guy running is a stranger." And he's like, "He's a bad guy, he's gonna go to jail." And I was like, "No." So now he thinks that, like, stranger it's just it's very interesting, and it's something that I never thought about until I became a parent, because 'cause I'm like,
That is
"Oh, I
so true.
have
How do you
to."
explain what a stranger is
Yeah, and I'm like, "You
technically?
can't talk to strangers," but then is he gonna think,
But
like,
you wanna be polite.
yeah, and I'm like, if someone he doesn't know comes up to him in the park or something, like a kid, is he gonna be like, "You're a stranger, like, please," you know? So it's
Yeah.
very interesting, and something that as he's getting older and he's learning these things, it even had something in there that was like, "Don't take any food from anybody." But then, of course, at school, it's like he gets so it's very interesting that I never thought about this until I was a parent.
That is really interesting.
Yeah.
I'm just looking up on Google and it says, like, to how to explain strangers to children. I don't know if you did that,
No, what does it
but
say?
it just says, "A stranger is anyone your family doesn't know well." So that's the definition of
Yeah.
a stranger. Emphasize that strangers can be nice or not, which it sounds like that's what you
Yeah.
did. You're saying, like, it's not possible to tell if a stranger is nice or not just by looking at them.
Yeah.
So that's, like, a good thing to be like, you can't really tell just by looking at them,
Right.
but this as soon as they make you feel uncomfortable
Yeah, I think that's
or ask you to do something that you don't wanna do, that's when you
yeah.
know they're not a good stranger.
Yeah, I think that's actually a better way to maybe describe it, like, if they make you feel funny, if they make you feel
Yeah,
uncomfortable, or if you're not sure of
yeah,
anything, just don't talk to them.
yeah. Or if they ask you to go anywhere that mommy and daddy wouldn't want you to
Yeah.
go,
I
if
basically
they
told him I probably scared him straight, because I was like,
it's
"You
fine.
don't ever no one except for mommy and daddy and Vivi, like, you don't do nobody." And so he's probably, like, shaking in his boots, but hey, fine.
He's probably not
Another
gonna talk to me when I show
Probably
up
not, dude.
next week.
Another thing I wanna talk about is, I went to dinner with a couple of my, mom friends the other day,
Mm,
and she was telling me, how they do something called, open window time,
mm,
and I started implementing it with Hudson. An open window time is during nighttime when you are going to bed. You've read your story, you've done all that, you're kind of like relaxed now, and now we open the windows to our hearts. And we talk about, because our hearts hold our feelings, it holds sadness and happiness, frustrations, anger, all the things. And we talk about something like during the day, right? Like, let's just hang out the window and talk about something that made us sad, maybe frustrated, something that made us happy or excited, whatever. And it's
I love
amazing
that.
how much he has opened up. And I'll be like, "Can I go
Mm,
first?" Something that made me feel really frustrated today was, I went to go order my favorite coffee and they were all out of it. And I couldn't believe it. I had to
yeah,
go to it, whatever. Um,
right.
and it's amazing how he has opened up so much about sharing things that have happened in his day.
Mm,
And, because we kept realizing, we'd be like, how was school? What'd you do today? And he'd be like, nothing, like we all did, right?
yeah,
And so for
mhm,
the chance for him to, like, get vulnerable, and for me to also get vulnerable and share my day and be like, "Yeah, something actually really frustrated me today too," or "This made me happy when I came down and saw you," whatever. It's just amazing how much more he's opened up, and, like, I get to actually hear about
mm,
his day, and I get to like, hear about interactions he had with kids that made him laugh, or maybe he felt something wasn't nice that happened. And
mm.
yeah, it's very interesting. My friend told me that she does this with her daughter. So we have both implemented it in the last like 2 weeks. And if anyone listening, like, implement open door time to open the door to your heart, or the window to
I
your
like
heart.
that.
Yeah.
What do you think is different about that than if he comes home from school and you're like, "How was your day? What'd you guys do today?"
I think because you are in a place where it's dark, there's not much going
Yeah.
on.
Mm,
Also, if you kind of give him a visual, like, I'm like, okay, now we're gonna, like, imagine a heart, and we're opening the window to our heart, and there's so many feelings in there. There's sadness is around there, and I see happiness up here. So you kind of give a visual, and then it's
mm,
like, ooh, like, what did I feel today? Right. And I think that, like, that
yeah,
connection, and also me sharing, I usually say, "Can I go first? Do you mind if I go
right,
first?" It
right,
kind of disarms him to then go, "Oh, even mommy had something happen today," or
right,
"Mommy had something happy that happened today." And then he shares
right,
it. And it's just amazing what
right.
he's told us. Um,
It's a good idea to say, like, your piece first so he kind of knows how to recount his day. It's almost like you show him a
totally.
blueprint of this is how you look back on your day, pick things out that you felt a certain way about,
Totally.
like, it because how is anyone gonna know just to do that innately? It's
Right.
funny how the things you truly have to teach kids, like, they don't
Yeah.
really know how to recount their day in that way of, like, okay, let's say
Exactly.
I went to school and then somebody,
I built
got like,
something.
pushed me on accident and made me feel bad, but they said sorry, so I'm okay. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like, who knows what they go through, so
Totally, and I
it's
also
so
think that,
interesting.
like, asking kids right when they come home, it's like they've already just had a day where they've had to keep it together, and this is their
Yeah,
moment to,
they
like,
just
breathe. They
wanna
don't even wanna think
yeah,
about it, and I
yeah,
don't know, it was just it's just been a very cool way to connect with him and also learn about, like, things that are happening in his school and, like, the way that he feels about things, and, he
yeah.
told me, like, one of his friends had an accident, but that he told her it was okay that she had an accident and that we should tell the
Mm.
teacher, things like that.
Yeah,
Um,
totally.
and it was just yeah,
I
if
love that.
yeah, I'm gonna implement
Parents,
it for my own
take note.
self, me and my husband.
I'm I already do. The second Martin gets home, I'm like, "Okay, so here's what happened
Be like,
today.
"Open
I
window time."
did" It's open window time, and it's gonna be for the next 3 hours. My poor husband, like, I swear, I literally will just text him and call him in the middle of the day and just be like, "So, I'm just, like, frustrated that there's no more cottage cheese, I was
Yeah.
excited for that we have enough honey," and he's, like, literally solving the world's problems, and I'm, like, every little thing I do during the day,
I
I either
wonder
text you or I text him about
if
it.
that's because we didn't have open window time
Yeah.
or
We
anything
definitely
of the
didn't have open
sort
window
of
time.
being like, like our parent also not this podcast getting so deep. Our parents were so incredible in so many ways, but I do think that there are some
Yes.
times where it's like we weren't able to be like, hey, you know what? I feel really like I had a really sad day or I felt really bad. Again, when you know
Yeah.
better, or when you know better, you do better, right?
Absolutely.
Generational,
Yeah.
but yeah,
Yeah,
so
we have so much more knowledge about how complex children are
yeah,
and just how beautiful and intricate and deep their brains already are, even at
totally.
1, 2, 3. Like, I think people look at kids as like, you're not fully formed opinion makers until you're 10, 11,
Yeah.
12. And it's like, that's not true considering the fact that our like the time that we are the most like a sponge is during those young toddler
Totally,
ages.
and
And like,
also it's like, if you teach them that they can't or that their opinion is not valid, then they will believe that.
yeah,
And it's like, you should be teaching the opposite at such a young age of like, no, you
yeah,
speak up and like that's one thing we've kind of been working with Hudson because for the longest time he was a little bit more like someone would do something to him and he'd be like, whatever. And we've been
yeah.
like, no, if you don't like
Like you can
that,
say,
you
mm,
tell them, "I don't like when
right.
you do that," "That hurts
Yes.
me," or whatever. Be
I love that because I feel like otherwise you have a people pleaser,
yeah, and I'm
and
like, "Eh,
it's one thing to be polite, it's another thing to be people pleasing, and it's
totally,
learned at a young age that it's okay to stand up for yourself.
totally."
And that's another thing we definitely were not really shown. We were kind of
Oh my god,
with
I
one
was
parent,
not good at that at all.
but I think another parent, and actually me and this parent just talked about recently how like we are much more, I hate the word people pleasing because it has a negative connotation, like such a negative connotation, but it is kind of, you know,
Yeah, people
something
pleasing,
that
yes,
people,
yeah,
yeah, and that particular parent and I talked about it and how, that's not like you and I try not to be so much like that, where we
yeah,
want to just be like, this is how I'm honestly feeling, this like whatever it
yeah,
is, and I think that that is really important for kids to learn.
totally. Well, 'cause
And I
it's
also think that this is why I started reading at such a young age and why I took to it was because I read a lot of books where the main character and perspective was young and had a myriad of feelings,
yeah,
and they discussed it. And I was able to relate and connect to that and be like, oh, I have those feelings too. So while I didn't have open window time, I think that's where my reading came into play, if
yeah,
that makes sense
yeah,
too,
totally,
where it was like I was able to be like, oh my gosh, this girl, she's so adventurous, she's so funny, she's so cool, but she's also so all these other things or whatever it might be,
yeah.
whatever I was reading at the time. Um, so yeah, that is so cool though
We
that you guys are
also
implementing
have this
that.
book called What Would Danny Do? And I highly recommend to anybody who has a toddler who is really between the ages, I think, of like 3 and 5, 3 and 6. Basically, what it is it changes the story as you decide, as you make choices for Danny. So Danny
You could
starts
choose your
off. You
adventure
can choose your adventure.
story.
So you can make a great
Yeah,
choice for Danny and he has a great day, or he makes
right.
a bad choice and he like yells at his sister and stomps around and stomps on toys and his day
Mm,
ends up not being so good. So that has been a really good book too for us because he gets to see, then you could go back and see how different Danny's day is if he makes good, like kinder choices.
got
Um
it.
but yeah,
Love
that's
that.
been a good book too.
That's really cool. I wanna get
Right?
it, and I wanna read
I
it.
know.
Yeah.
I know.
I wanna read him more stories when I'm there this
You
trip.
really should because now you can like lay in bed with him and he loves. It's funny
I
because
know,
Ava
it's
is the
so
one who's like a bookworm,
fun.
dude. It's so funny how certain kids just really like you were a bookworm. Ava will crawl up on a
Totally.
chair and she will sit and look at books forever.
My intelligent queen.
I mean, truly.
My my true I mean, she truly is almost in a lot of ways a little mini me, not to be like
She's
certain
sassy as hell.
people in our lives who claim
Sh-
that the children are just like them. I don't claim it, you tell me
She's
that she is.
sassy, but she's sensitive. She's sweet. She's caring. She's like the kind of girl, and granted, she's only like 1.5, but like she will come and snuggle up to you if she thinks you're sad, but she'll tell you off.
Yes.
She will tell you off, but and she'll put you in her place. But
She's an
then
empowered woman.
yes, and she is strong. And
Yes. She's an empowered little girly pop, and we
God,
love her for it.
love her for it.
I wanna, like, quickly touch on Love Is Blind because it is topical,
Yeah. This is such a
and I
good
feel like
episode too,
we
by the way. I feel like we literally have touched on
I
everything.
know.
Wow.
I know. We've really hit it all, but I really wanted to end on Love Is Blind
Yeah.
because I feel like so if you guys aren't watching it, what are you doing? Like, I don't know what you guys are doing because Love Is Blind is literally so good right now. It's good and
It's
it's
probably the
juicy
messiest
and it's
season ever, I think.
it's the messiest season I can remember because of all just the different dynamics and things going on and like some of the really surprising things like what happened with Monica and Steven. If you guys don't know,
And
like that
Tyler,
Monica Steven, yeah, there's gonna maybe be a couple spoilers if you're not current. So if you're not
if you
like up to
haven't watched up
date
to
by
the
the time this
weddings.
drops, yeah, we're and I think that the rest of them drop next week.
Okay. Well, as of right now, it's
So
up until
as of
they
right
are about to
now,
get
yeah,
married.
it's right. And the whole Monica Steven of it all, where he did a sleep study, he went to go do a sleep study and she found out that he was like sexting some girl during
Like
it,
kinky stuff.
like kinky, crazy stuff. And like that is so wild to me. And it's so awkward to like watch their conversation and like
And I was like
him being
rooting for
like,
him at
oh,
first. I was like, "Oh
I
my
was
gosh, he's
rooting
so
for him.
sweet.
He
He's
seems so
so like lovely and
nice.
kind and like he just is really like well
Yes.
spoken." And then I was like, "Ugh." And then the fact that he was just like, "All right, sorry." Like, ugh. I was like,
Like, "I'll leave you alone."
"Dude,
Yeah, yeah,
yuck."
yeah.
And then I mean,
Oh.
you know my feelings on Hannah.
Yeah, the whole Hannah and Nick of it all is
I
just
feel for Nick. I really,
we
really,
have such a
really do.
soft spot for Nick, and I don't know what it is.
Because
I
he has our
get like,
brother's
we've talked
eyes.
about yeah,
That's
he
why.
has the same eyes
Same
as
reason I have
Tynan,
a
so
soft
we
spot for Young Gravy.
right, and they are all look the same. So
Yes.
that's what it is. They all are very much favor each other, which is, like, so weird.
I know.
Every time I see Young Gravy, I'm like
That's
which I
literally our
doubt
brother
anybody on planet
also.
Earth feels that way towards him. No one is
No.
like,
I know. I'm
"Sweet,
like, "Oh."
sweet Young Gravy."
I
Like,
know.
no. Also, what is his name?
Young Gravy, dude. I don't know. I don't know his God-given name.
It's like that meme I sent you that was like, "This is our baby. We named her after my grandmother. Her name's Grandma."
That's so funny.
I think that, like, here's the thing is, like, I need to see more of Hannah in the sense of, like, what's your deal? Like, why are you like this, and why are you so, like, rough with this guy?
Dude,
Like, what did he do to
so
you to make you
rough.
so rough?
Even her mom, when they
So
were, like,
rough.
all sitting together, was like, "Are you being serious?" Because like, the mom, like,
Mhm.
couldn't believe what she was saying. The thing is this, I also have to give everyone grace because I
Yes,
know the
that's what I
power of editing,
mean.
and I
Yeah.
know that every, season needs a villain. However, my God, I think Tyler's the villain. I think he makes Marvel bad guys look good.
So what's your biggest gripe with Tyler? I'm sure you've got many, but I wanna know what's your number one gripe?
The fact that he has kids.
Okay.
And he said he was a
Right.
donor, but he has full-on children where there has now been the woman has put out photos of him there at Christmas
Right.
and riding bikes together and doing all these things, and they're calling him dad. I'm like,
Has
that's
he
evil.
said why he didn't share this information? Did I miss that?
Mm-mm. I don't know if he
Okay.
can speak on it yet because I think that they're probably under contract because, until they
'Cause
people
of the
find out if they're married or not.
and the reunion and all that
Yeah.
stuff. Like, I need to know I just wanna know his reasoning behind it. I just wonder. I have questions, like, what is because there are reasons why I can imagine somebody doesn't share that information. I'm not saying that it's okay,
Yeah.
but extending grace, I can understand that that's complicated and maybe you don't wanna bring children into, like, the spotlight.
Yeah, you know what I think it
But you
is?
have to in order to tell somebody in front of millions of watchers the truth
Yeah.
about you. So it's kinda
What is
like
that
a weird catch-22.
what is that thing called when you have no empathy again?
Sociopath?
Yeah, I think it's that.
You think it's sociopathy? Interesting. Yeah,
Mhm,
could
mhm.
be. Absolutely. I cannot wait for the reunion. I cannot wait the whole Alexandra Tim situation where he was just like, "I never wanna see you
But
again." I was
also,
like, "How did you guys go from having, like, a regular" but they were having, like, a regular like, I was like, "Oh, this is a tiff, they're gonna get through this," to, "I never wanna
he
see you
literally
again,
also said it in the way that he just said, "It looks like a nice day out." He was like, "I never wanna see you again."
and I never wanna see you
I
again." I
also
was like,
need
"Whoa."
Leo to come back. I need Leo to come back, the art dealer from, like, the
Mm.
pods,
The guy who did
and
not want to be loved for his money,
but only brought
talked
up
about
his
it
money.
incessantly.
But I was just so I just need more airtime from him.
I've never cringed so hard
Never.
than
But
when they met
but then you
and
look
he
at
was,
his
like, on top
TikToks
of
you look at
her.
his TikToks, and I will say he's having
Yeah.
a little bit of a redemption arc because he's like, "Things I've learned about being on reality TV, things that you think are cute," like, remember when he went, he was like,
Yeah.
"Are not cute to other
Yeah,
people."
yeah, yeah.
So I will
Right.
say the self-awareness is there, thank God.
Yeah. It's
Um,
tough when you have a camera that's just watching you 24/7. I'm sure I do 1,000 cringy things during the day that I don't think about because I'm not having someone record them and
yeah,
put them out for the entire masses to watch.
yeah.
Um, I do feel I think you and I talked about how we don't like how the Alexandra Tim,
Mhm.
situation, how we thought that she was, like, a little bit like, he's kind of got a point in the way that he feels about her.
Yeah, I don't think that she is very nice. Like, the fact that Alexander's the one that took a nap when the parents came, right?
Yeah.
That to
Yeah.
me, the fact that she thought that that was okay, to me, is
It's
truly one of
crazy to
the
me.
most
This is
disres
one of those
that's like someone who
yes,
is just like, "Not only do
disrespect.
I not care, I don't care about
Mm-mm.
you, I don't care about your family, I hardly care about this show." Like,
Right.
you just
Stay
why
up.
be
I don't
there?
care. Wake up. Like, if your new partner's parents drove didn't they drive, like, 10 hours or
Wake
something?
up. I
Or
don't care
wait
if they drove 15
10
minutes.
minutes. Yeah. Wake up.
Wake
Like,
up.
you have to be here. Um, and then if we can just speak on Ramses and Marissa, that whole situation with, like,
Yeah, Ramses
her being in military,
yeah.
him
Ramses
having
is just a
his Anakin
left
Skywalker hair.
liberal king. Um,
Yes.
the
And she is, like, dated Trumpers. Like, it is what a wild pairing.
wild pairing, they're not gonna get married, for sure. He also
No.
reminds me so much of my ex.
Yeah.
The way that he talks, his mannerisms, the
Yeah.
way that he kinda looks. I don't know if you see it or
Right.
not.
1,000%.
I'm just like,
1,000%. He
"Whoa."
looks so like you're like one of your yeah, absolutely, he does. Um, yeah, there is something about him that the way he talks is so like your ex, so interesting.
Yeah.
But, like, the fact that I don't know, to me, I was like, he's so now anti so much of the stuff that she's clearly passionate about, and I was like, "You guys literally in the pod, she said she dated
Yeah,
Trumpers."
they're not gonna work. They're not gonna get married.
But, like,
I don't think
why would
any
you
one of
even
these people are gonna get
continue?
married.
I don't either. I mean, I think that the only couple that I feel like has an actual chance is Taylor and Garrett. They're the only
That's the
2
only 2.
that I think have a
Yeah, and
chance.
she's so cute. She's so, like, head over heels for him.
They're so cute, and also, like, they're both scientists, so
Yeah.
I feel like they're probably more, less
Yeah.
emotionally
She
driven.
reminds me of, like, Olivia Munn, like
Yeah, because she's, like,
yeah.
Asian and has freckles and beautiful.
Yeah, and she's just,
Yeah.
like, has that kind of personality too.
Yeah.
If you guys
She's a little
haven't
bit dry, but yeah.
watched, go and watch, and it is absolutely incredible.
Because 'Cause we're gonna talk about
Um,
the finale and the reunion eventually,
for
so
sure.
just be prepared for
The
that.
next time you guys hear from us, it's gonna be Halloween.
Halloween, and we will be
Ooh.
together, because 'cause I'm going
Ooh.
from Colorado to New Jersey to spend Halloween with
Also,
everybody.
speaking of
Cause
ooh, I was I was in Home Goods the other day, and you know how they do, like, they come over the speaker and they're like, "Hey, shoppers, welcome to Home
yeah.
Goods," and whatever. The woman opened it who was in the front, went, "Ooh." Happy shopping, like, literally like that,
No,
and
it's so
everyone was just like
cute. I love
so
that,
I love
though. I
that.
love her.
I
That's
love
really
that. She's putting
sweet.
her whole
She's just,
pussy
like,
into it.
trying.
Yeah, I love it.
She really put her whole pussy into that announcement.
All right,
Oh,
guys.
Lord.
Well, we'll see you next week and we'll be together. Love y'all. Don't forget to check out our Patreon. We have a lot of good stuff up there.
Mhm.
And God, you don't want to miss it.
You really don't, you guys. We have some really, really good stuff coming. We have some very exclusive Patreon stuff
Yes.
coming down the pike,
Yes.
so
All right.
keep your eyeballs out for that. We love you guys, and we'll see you
Sayonara.
guys next week.
Bye.
Thank you guys so much for listening. You can catch a new episode of Model Citizen every Thursday. And please don't forget to follow the podcast so you don't miss any of the action. We want to hear from you, so please leave a rating and review and follow us on socials for all the behind-the-scenes action at Hunter McGrady and Michaela McGrady. And don't forget, you are worthy, you are loved, and you are capable of doing all wonderful things. Bye, guys.